कहाँ कोशुर शो अक status खाला WhatsApp पे तमिस UAPA युवान लगान. I as an individual would be very uncomfortable singing Ram Bhajan. I have my faith, my politics, it's very clear. I have my ideology which is clear. Aspe छ दिल पे वनकन सोत कंट्रोल गसान. अफसर पे यमिस यम वनान छ LG बस बार वनान बस एम्स LG वनान कि बस कबूल करान इंस्टीट्यूशन. यह वाइसरॉय छ सारी अस नेबर पे आमत यम जानवो यमन अस कान लेन देन छ तिम छ अस दबावान.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Beyond the Headlines. I'm your host Nazir Ganaie. Today we are joined by a very special guest, someone who is into politics from a very early age, and he's a three-time MLA. He is a prominent face of National Conference and National Conference candidate for prestigious Srinagar parliamentary constituency. Agarullah साहब बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए. Now that election का माहौल अब यहाँ पे पूरी वादी में है और आगा रुहुल्लाह का जब नाम आ गया श्रीनगर कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी के लिए, तो वाज इट अ सरप्राइज फॉर यू और इट वाज डिस्कस्ड इन द?
नहीं, इट वाज नॉट अ सरप्राइज फॉर मी. हाँ, इतना है कि आई हैड नेवर प्रिपेयर्ड माई सेल्फ फॉर एनी इलेक्शन. पार्लियामेंट के बारे में तो सोचा भी नहीं था. असेंबली आई वाज वेरी सर्टन, आई हैव स्पोकन अबाउट इट कि मैं इस असेंबली में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करूँगा जिसको डिग्रेड किया गया, जिसकी सैंक्टिटी छीनी गई. पार्लियामेंट आई हैड नेवर थॉट अबाउट. हाँ, पार्टी के कुछ 1-2 महीने से कम्युनिकेशन शुरू हुए, फिर आपस में डिस्कशन शुरू हुए, तो 1-2 ऑप्शंस थे जिन पे बात हुई. सो श्रीनगर वाज वन ऑफ द ऑप्शंस, सो इट डिडंट कम एज अ सरप्राइज फॉर मी.
Aga Ruhullah has been very vocal from the very beginning. Post 2019, I think you were the only leader from National Conference who was very vocal about Article 370 abrogation, downgrading this state into union territory. You were always in news for your statements, for your vocal statements rather. Did it also invite some trouble for you from within the party or from the other quarters?
I wouldn't say trouble. No, there was no trouble as such. Party took my words, they accommodated it. If not accommodated, they respected my opinion. Some colleagues in the party would have thought that maybe it was not comfortable for them, but overall the entire structure of the organization, the people involved, the seniors and the colleagues involved, I never felt that it was a trouble for me. And what I was always concerned about, that this is the way we should respond to this situation that we have, and I expressed those opinions. I didn't want myself to be isolated or working on that, speaking on that in isolation. I wanted the entire organization to have that ideology or a roadmap for the future ahead to respond to the events that we had. There would have been instances that things did not turn out as I would have expected they would turn out, but that is the understanding of the situation of the individuals, how individuals understand the situation. That was the only thing that concerned me, that we do not behave as the organizations, or we do not answer we do not respond to the situation as the organization the way that we should. But I didn't see any trouble. I didn't see any trouble expressing myself. They were very respectful to the opinion.
Abhi, how hopeful are you for your win in the parliamentary constituency, which is not maybe new to you, but it's a new turf definitely.
Electorally, it's a turf where I have not worked directly. It's not that I have not worked on this in this constituency, parliamentary constituency. Srinagar is very close to this area. We almost live in the suburbs. You can call Badgaam the suburbs, Greater Srinagar. So we behave as socially as much as the people from Srinagar behave. We feel as much politically the way the people from Srinagar believe. And if you would want to have a little time out, you would take a drive to Srinagar and drive 15 minutes and you are in Srinagar. So overall, this is an area we are not alien to, we are a part of. But electorally, yes, I have never worked directly, but indirectly I have been involved It's a very close area to our home. Number two, I have, for certain reasons, I have certain areas in this constituency where people somehow listen to me. So directly, indirectly involving them or mobilizing them for the political cause or for the political party that I have worked in this constituency indirectly. But at the moment, as I said the last day, I'm not worried about the prospects of or the outcome of the elections. That is something I never thought about while discussing about the possibility of contesting for in the parliamentary elections. The thing that drove me into it, and which still continues to drive me into it, is that I get a chance and a platform, a bigger platform, to express the opinion, the views that you pointed out to, that I have been expressing for the last 5 years. For the last five years, I was, because of this situation, I confined myself, and I would speak what I wanted to speak, either through social media or occasional platforms of the party. This gave me a chance to express the same opinion at a bigger platform, to take that to the larger audience. Election is always about campaigning, and campaigning is all about reaching to the people. And this is fortunately a process where people get involved with you. They come to listen to you. So this was the driving force for me, and this took me. I took it seriously because of this. I will get an opportunity to interact with the people from the length and breadth of at least these 2-3 districts: Srinagar, Pulwama, Budgam, and Ganderbal, and I can express that opinion. And on the other side, I can get the sense of the sentiment, how people think about it. I would want to break the ice that people have. I mean, the ice that we are caught in. People think that we are not able to express. They are not able to express their sentiment. They are not able to speak about their rights. They are not able to speak about their dignity. They are scared. They are suppressed. I can get an understanding of the overall situation, the sentiment. Is it the way I feel, or is it the other way, or is it some other way? Is it the same thing that we all elements of the society, we individuals of the society feel? So for me, it's an opportunity to express that opinion at a larger platform.
So parties have been, discussing a lot. They have been offering a lot of manifestos to the people. Do you think getting back statehood or restoring Article 370 is a far-fetched dream now?
If it was a far-fetched dream for me, I wouldn't contest. I wouldn't come into the fray. I still believe that we cannot accept the situation as fait accompli. We cannot accept the events and the status of Jammu and Kashmir post 2019 as fait accompli. That will be a crime on our part for the generations to come. Yes, it may be very difficult to get back what we lost in 2019, but we need to fight for that. We need to struggle for that. We need to keep our cause alive. The first condition to get something back is to keep that alive, to keep that cause alive. And at the same time, we need to frame a roadmap ahead. We need to struggle substantially to get the rights back. We can make allies from south to west to many other parts of the country where people think alike. Southern states of this country almost think alike as the people of Jammu and Kashmir. They like federal structure as we like. They like their regional identity as we like. It's just that we have a language, constitutional language for that. We have a vocabulary for that, which is called 370. They do not have a vocabulary for that. We have Article 371, which applies in many parts of India. So we can find allies. Provided we keep the cause alive. So it is very important that we go about it very seriously. It cannot be accepted as fait accompli.
After winning assembly elections for 3 times, and then remaining in the cabinet also, you're still one of the youngest, candidates fighting this parliamentary election. I think after Wahid. How do you think electioneering process or electioneering has changed over the years?
My beard is growing grey now. I'm turning old. Well, it's been a good 22 years of electoral experience.
Uh-huh.
I started very early and I have been evolving. The opinions, the voices that you pointed out to that I make is all part of this entire process. It has been a blessing in disguise. I wouldn't want this blessing. I came into politics because of the assassination of my father. Uh, but howsoever I came too early, and I could understand from way I could get a hand on the functioning of the state, the difference between the functioning of the state and the expectations of people that was created. This experience and working in the institutions uh, such as assembly, and at the same time these elections giving me an opportunity to interact with the length and breadth of the people of the state. I evolved. And alongside my understanding evolved. How and I could feel what the youngsters of my age would feel on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I could associate with their feeling. I can identify myself with their feelings, my feelings with their feelings. And on one side, I had the understanding of the feelings. On the other side, I had understanding of the functioning of the institutions of the state, so to say. And I would say post 2011-12, I started to come into my own being, having developed a political understanding. And from 2014 onwards, when I won for the third time, I started expressing my political opinions with more confidence and understanding. This whole process for the last 22 years has, I cannot say I have grown as a politician, has substantiated my knowledge of understanding of the functioning of the society, and as a student substantiated my knowledge of politics and how politics should run, and how states and political parties and how society should function. I have the understanding of a little bit understanding of where we made mistakes, and which I'm without any hesitation ready to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand once you realize that you have mistakes and you acknowledge those mistakes, only then you can make corrections. And I want those corrections to be made. So I can say now I have a little understanding, substantial knowledge of the functioning of the state as a whole.
आपकी तबीयत को देखे और आपकी पर्सोना का देख के यू आर वेरी रिजर्व्ड इन सर्टेन टर्म्स. आप उतना ज़्यादा like your colleagues in the party. When a person like a leader like Farooq Abdullah is alongside you, he's campaigning. Someone who has a charisma of his own. He pulls people in his own way. Does it pose any challenge to you? आप कुछ लगता है उस वक्त कि यार डॉक्टर साहब इस एज में भी इतना ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं तो हम.
Oh, honestly, yeah, that's not a challenge. That's an encouragement and inspiration in a way that a man of his age is able to run and run the miles for whatever cause he espouses for. Mm-hmm. That's in a way inspiration. But no, I have never felt any challenge in my life. I would look up to people and understand how they work. I would look up to people and understand how they function. I have never, I mean, in my life or whatever political life I have had till the moment, I have not conceived anyone as my political challenge. I have tried to develop an understanding with my own individuality, mm-hmm. without competing with anyone. And while I say that I do not compete myself with anyone, I mean that it's not necessary I feel myself being better than anyone. No, anyone else could be better than me. But his understanding, his individuality is his own individuality. I will never want to fit into your shoes. I would never want to be a photocopy of Nazir Saab. I would always want to take inspirations from your good work and try to mend myself accordingly without being a photocopy of you. So therefore, I have been a keen student in the politics. I have seen individuals. Life has graced me with the opportunity to work with the senior most politicians in the state, and work with all kinds of institutions what a person in the state can work with. So I took this all as my learning experience, and I can thank God for this opportunity, and I can say that I have learned or gathered a substantial understanding of the field.
Talking about your opponents, you worked with Mehbooba Mufti also, you worked with Mufti Mohammed Syed also. Mufti Mohammed Syed के बारे में अगर रुहुल्लाह की क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग है?
Well, Mufti Muhammad Syed was a very capable politician. You cannot take that away from him. A person who 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 had also again who had developed his understanding of politics from the grassroots levels, worked from down to up, and he had that experience, that interaction with all levels of the society, reflected in his politics. So that it's for an individual how he utilizes that experience for his ideology. I may not be a subscriber of that ideology or that political organization, but one thing is for sure, he was a smart politician. He was a politician with good knowledge of politics and functioning of the state and society, and he was a political asset. There's no doubt about that. Farooq Saab is way ahead. He has, he has a hand on the
Pulse.
a hand on the pulse. Thank you for the word. He understands you and me like anything. When I say you and me, we Kashmiris, people from Jammu, he understands them like anything. Any person from Jammu would tell you that he's more like us than like you, and at the same time, a person from Kashmir would bet that Farooq Saab is more like us than people from Jammu. That is, and people from Ladakh would associate with him, identify with him, and would like to feel that they are more close to Dr. Saab than the people of Kashmir or Jammu. And that speaks about the charisma of an.
So when you see Farooq Abdullah singing Ram Bhajans, so how do you explain that thing? Is it that understanding?
Yes, I as an individual would be very uncomfortable singing Ram Bhajan. I have my my faith, my politics. It's very clear. I have my ideology, which is clear. I would not want to, be someone to give him that confidence that I am you. I would want to be my own individual and respect your individuality, your faith, celebrate your faith. But Dr. Saab is someone who would go extra mile and behave like you to make you comfortable, that he respects you, lets you celebrate yourself. I don't know. I don't have a clear answer for that, whether it's right or wrong. But it's how Dr. Saab understands things. He would want to be in your color. He would want to paint himself in your color when he's with you. He would want to paint himself with my color when he's with me. I don't know whether that's wrong or that's right. I also believe in secularism. My idea of secularism is that whatever faith you have, I respect that faith. I don't have to practice your faith to respect your faith. My understanding of secularism is something else. Dr. Saab's understanding of being secular would be something else. I don't have a clear answer for that, but yes, he goes that extra mile.
अगर हम लीडर्स की बात करें, सजाद लोन जैसे लीडर या इमरान अंसारी, they accuse MC of mayhem, turning these youngsters into pellet victims. How would you respond to that? And while NC is calling them B teams or PNC teams of BJP, how would you respond to that?
They all know. I wouldn't want to take names. They all know what their background is, how this mayhem came to Kashmir. All right, I'll take that for a minute for the sake of argument that National Conference somehow was responsible for the events. But more than National Conference, those people who brought gun directly, who sold the idea of taking weapons into your hands, were these people who called youngsters from their homes and invited them, as they would want to believe that this is the path for jihad, and if you give your blood, heaven is yours, paradise is yours. So, all right, I'll take this for the sake of argument. National Conference would have made mistakes, and that those mistakes brought these situations. But the people who directly were involved in making this state violent and bringing mayhem to this state, as a result of which hundreds of thousands of youngsters died, and those who died while believing that they are dying for a holy cause. The champions of the cheerleaders of that holy cause, the organizers of that holy cause, have flipped completely. The state that they fought against, the idea of a state that they fought against. Today you can see them hand in glove with that state, not with that state, but at the right wing of that state. While that state is being functioned and run by the right wing, that state is being taken over by the right wing, the fundamentalists, Hindutva fundamentalists. While this state was at least secular, its institutions were at least secular. They were safe. Judiciary was safe. Judiciary was secular. Media was secular. Media was safe and fully functioning. Your election commission, that was to a large extent fully functioning, independently functioning. That was secular. While this state was at least, it was secular. It was a functioning democracy. You were against that state. You took people, you gave guns in the hands of youngsters, and those youngsters are in graves today. And when this state turned radical, fundamentalist, institutions are compromised. Secularism is considered a bad word. Fundamentalism has taken over. Sectarianism has taken over. Communalism has taken over. All the institutions are compromised. The organization which compromised this state, you are hand in glove with that organization. So we will introspect. We can introspect. People of Jammu and Kashmir can raise hundreds of questions, fingers at us. They have every right. But these people do not have that right. They are on even day. They are on the side of that mayhem. They are on the side of that ideology which fights against this state, and through that gives blood to this society. On the odd day, they are with the worst this state could ever be. They are the fundamentalists, the right wing of the state. So they have no moral standing for these questions.
आखिर पे जो आपकी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में आपके लोग आपको देख रहे हैं, उनके लिए जो हम नॉर्मली कश्मीरी में ये बात करेंगे, तक क्या बात कि सारे खुद बोर्ड चैलेंज क्या रोज तक पन्नी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में और स्ट्रेंथ क्या होगी आपकी?
चैलेंज रोज ये कि भैया कह पे द्रास पान यकीन करान गो मे सो कन्विक्शन तवे द्रास बस यसान लुकन वमेद दिन कि हेको कत कर बस यसान लुकन वमेद दिन कि अस पे जुल्म गो गुंजाइश मुमकिन करो जुल्म बर्दाश्त कह बस यसान लुकन यह वमेद दिन कि न मुमकिन हेको हिंदुस्तान वन कि मशरूत इलाक तुम फुटो पन शर्त तुम फुटो पन उसूल इस हिंदुस्तान यह जानव ना अत गमत कह बस यसान यह वमेद सो हिम्मत हिश दिन लुकन कि तम हेकन कत कर कि ना दम कोर्मुत हुकूक निमित अस पे दिल पे वनकन सोद कंट्रोल गसान अफसर पे यमिस वन एल जी बस बार बार वन बस अमिस एल जी वन कि बस कबूल करान इंस्टीट्यूशन यह वाइस रॉय यह एल जी क्या यह कबूल कोर्मुत डेमोक्रेटिकली यह सिस्टम मोंगमुत यह पे थोपन आमुत अफसर पे अमिस वाइस रॉयस तान सारी नबर पे आमत नबर पे वन रियासत नबर पे आमत जानवोक इन लेन देन तम दबावान कह कोशुर स्टेटस खालान व्हाट्सएपस पे तमिस UAPA लगान कह मुलाजिम यह पन्ने दिलो कह सेलिब्रेशन करान मामूली तमिस UAPA लगान कह न मुलाजिम न कुन जाए मजबूर आजाद इंसान यहां पन फीलिंग एक्सप्रेस कर पन ख्यालात वन सह दबान सह खोसन बस यहां हिम्मत दिन कशरिस ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी मज एटलीस्ट कि हेको कत कर खोसन आमुत और RSS और BJP और माइट माइट जनाब मूसा अली ब्रोखन माइट जनाब इब्राहिम अली ब्रोखन अम खुद माइट बजाय अम कि हारो हौसले हिम्मत हारो अस थो पन्निस माजियस कुन नजर या यम अस अकायद तिमन अकायदों मज दिमो सो हमत मिसाल वुचो अस हेको कत कर अगर मे यीज कामयाबी मिल कि तिमन मिल सो हमत ना हौसला मिल वमेद मिल कि ना अस हेको कत कर इत कन मुल्कस मज बाकी ना पत कोशिश करान पन हकूक वापस फार्मर्स जमींदार तिम द्राय सी खतर गई प्रोटेस्ट नागालैंड वुचो तह सोरे ईस्ट हिंदुस्तान सो वुचो तह सोरे सह सड़कन पे लोड यमिस यमिस तो लड़न ड्राइवरन मुतलिक ये सह कानून आव पास कर सह पे बोजन वाले तह पाए ट्रक ड्राइवर्स द्राय सारी सड़कन पे 2 मिनटन मज जुकनो अद यह आमिर अद यूत बोड़ क्या ये डिक्टेटर मगर चूंकि तिमन वमेद तिमन सह खौफ वौफ कह ना हेको कत कर तम खुद हालत खराब बसान सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन गुलाम यह बनान आम मगर अख वमेद अम गुलामी पे तको स्ट्राइक बैक कर अम सेकंड क्लास सिटीजनशिप पे तको स्ट्राइक बैक कर यह अगर यह ये गो वमेद मीज ना कत मीज कि हेको कत कर या कह कत कर या यह हेको कह जरिए कत कर पे सो कत अत ऐवानस मज अमे नियत सान अमे शिद्दत सान अमे फीलिंग सान अमे एहसास सान तत सो कत कर पन कॉज जिंद थवन यह मान खतर यह क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी बे लुख आमाद कर यह हमद यह मान खतर चैलेंज तो युस अत मज पॉजिटिव सह मान खतर यो कि अगर लुख अम खतर आमाद गई हमत मीज अस लज कत कर सो एक्टिविज्म गो शुरू सो क्या सो पोलिटिकल हिम्मत मीज जरूरी पगह मेल 370 वापस दो मेल 370 वापस मगर कम से कम बह वत मुचर वत यल कर या वत बन ये वत किस यथ वत पे नीर स्ट्रगल करो ये किस नतीजस मज पगह शायद यह कह नतीज नीर सू यह सैनिस हकस मज बहुत यह अवाम फलस्तीन बन बहुत वो सह हालत फलस्तीन पगह यम प्रोसेस कन वनकस गुजरान फलस्तीन मज बराबर यमे कवानीन यो प्रोसेस गोमुत तो 7 वहर रोतन नतीज बहुत गई फलस्तीन अम ब्रो कि बनो फलस्तीन यमिक हालात हमथस पे पगु ख्याल कर
So hope is the only thing that keeps the prominent National Conference leader Aga Syed Ruhullah Mehdi going, and it encourages him to reach out to his own people in his constituency. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया रुल्ला साहब हमें अपना कीमती वक्त देने के लिए।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।